But only when you're there. I don't want you to be able that this is what you need. So, give it a letter. Print your name, sign, and then today's date. It's the 26th.
I call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, September 26, 2023. This is the CHamoru Trust Commission Board meeting, and it's a continuation of our Thursday, September 21st, 2023. A public notice was done with the Bond Daily Post on September 14, 2023, and September 19, 2023. But we also had a publication for this continuation of this meeting. Monday, it was published on the Bond Daily Post, Monday, September 25th, 2023. Directors present. I'm sorry, commissioners. Mr. Rosarito. Here. Commissioner David Herrera.
Madam Chair.
Attorney Kristen Finney. And the substitute acting director, Mr. Joey Caetano, who's Okay, Mr. Cruz, can you give us, we are going to start with on the agenda number 9, and it has legal counsel, its discussion and action. First item is
No, I didn't have anything to report. I apologize. I thought we were just continuing the discussion on the loan guarantees. I thought that was the part of the meeting we were continuing.
okay. So you have something to report on the loan guarantees if there's any questions?
Madam Chair, if I may. We provided a copy of Administrative Director Alex Tyrone's letter sent to the Governor dated September 22, 2023. Everybody should have a copy of that letter. She's also in consistent communication with IU regarding the funds that's being requested from this letter.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and read it?
Read the letter?
Yeah.
Hauptmann Governor Leon Guerrero, I'm writing to request your support for the CHamoru Land Trust Commission's efforts to provide loan guarantees for the 20 CLTC families seeking small business administration loans, an additional applicant seeking a Guam Housing Corporation loan in the wake of Typhoon Mawar. While the GHC has indicated an interest in exploring further avenues for the affected applicant that do not require loan guarantees, unfortunately, the SBA has indicated that it is unable to approve the loans without a guarantee. Guam law authorizes the CLTC to provide guarantees to assure the repayment of loans from local and federal governmental agencies subject to certain conditions. The law provides, however, that the aggregate amount assured by the CLTC shall not exceed the ability of the CHamoru Loan Guarantee Fund to reasonably provide security for the loans authorized. While the law does not define the amount that would be sufficient to reasonably provide security for the loans authorized, data indicates that the default rate for SBA loans is less than 20%. We have requested data from the GHC regarding the default rate on guaranteed loans, which remains pending. However, given the similar financial status of applicants for both programs, we believe it is appropriate to expect a similar default rate for GHC loans. While the CLGF balance reflects a higher value because it includes restricted funds and pending revenues due from the general fund since 2018, at present time, the CLGF contains $379,588.72 in cash and is expected to receive an additional $1.3 million in the upcoming budget year for a total of $1.6 million. Outstanding CLTC guarantees total approximately $10.4 million for prior SBA and GHC loans. I do not believe that existing CLG funds are sufficient to support further guarantees. Given the known default rate, the state of Hawaii, for example, holds reserves in its guarantee fund that equals approximately 50% of the value of the loans. I understand the legislature has authorized the use of Typhoon Mawar relief funds to support a variety of relief efforts, including housing and safety. Given our island's well-documented housing shortage and the financial vulnerability of CLTC leaseholders, I believe that dedicating typhoon relief funds to provide security for CLTC loans will afford affected CLTC families stability, safety, and peace of mind. To this end, I request your support for our CLTC families seeking SBA and GHC loans. Specifically, I request that relief funds in the amount of $4 million be allocated to the CLGF for the purpose of bringing the fund into compliance with Guam law and empowering our people to take advantage of the SBA and GHC loans provided to assist residents affected by the typhoon. This infusion will bring our CLGF fund reserves to nearly 40% of the combined value of existing loans and the pending applications with SBA and GHC as a result of Typhoon Mawar. While I have made additional requests and inquiries of both SBA and GHC for the purpose of structuring alternatives to the required guarantee, our CLTC families need help immediately, and providing the necessary guarantees is the most expeditious solution to the issue. We understand the current funding challenges and appreciate your help. You are helping us return these families to safe and livable homes. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns. Respectfully, Alice Tyrone, Administrative Director.
Any comments?
It's a good letter. It's a good letter, and I wish it had come out sooner than it did, but it's a move in the
Well-
right direction.
We have suggested to Director Tyrone, to ask for the funds, and that in order to accommodate the Myanmar, yeah, and using the funds of Myanmar's. Now,
Go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, based on the letter, we'll just go through what we just read. And we'll start from the 40% on the last page, and we'll go backwards. So on the last paragraph, it was mentioning that the director was asking request for the refund of the amount of $4 million. So we can anticipate we might be getting 4 million, we might be getting no million. Would that be a fair statement, Madam Chair?
It's all up to
No?
what the governor has to say, and I think this letter should be forwarded to the legislature.
Yes. Okay, then if we keep going backwards, and then
We're trying to go forward.
Yeah, I understand, but we're just trying to get the numbers. So as we go backwards, right, it was saying here that there's a total money for the loan guarantee funds at $379,000. Would that be a confirmed number?
Actual cash in.
Actual cash in the bank, so that's about 0.3 million. And then as we move forward in the next sentence, on the upcoming budget year, we requested for about 1 million. And that was approved on the budget. Bill. Yes?
1.6.
Yeah, okay, 1.6. So if we add the 1.6 and the 3, we can say that that's about 2 million. Six.
I think if you add the 1.3 and the 379, it comes out to 1.6.
Okay, so 1.6. No, we can anticipate, so we have 1.6. And being proactive and optimist, and if we do have, let's say 4 mil, or we just go 50% of the 4 will be 2 mil, and we add the 2 mil with the 1.6, that'll be 3.6 mil. So I'd like to bring our attention over to page 23 of the chapter 75A. We can go there. Chapter 75A, page 23. Now, this is the stumbling block. Page 23.
What part of the law?
75A, chapter 75A.
21 GC.
Yeah, page 23. You got it? And then also page 38, just so that.
Can we start with 23? which
Yes,
paragraph?
okay. So we go on page 23, right, the last sentence. That's the stumbling block that we've been discussing last week for the last several months. So if you can read that, Director.
In no event shall the aggregate amount assured by the Commission exceed the ability of the CHamoru Loan Guarantee Fund to reasonably provide security for the loan's offerings.
Okay, so that was the quagmire or the dilemma that we've been facing, right? Remember, that was the language that we were saying that in no event shall the aggregate amount. So the question we need to answer is that what is the aggregate amount that we have now of the loans that have been approved, which is about 10.4? Yes, 10.4 million. No? So,
That's already finished, right?
and it's still in the book. That's the one that we were
That's
kind
all.
of, no?
That's existing.
Yes.
And we need more, right?
Yes, yeah, and then we have the new 20, the 20 SBA applicants, that's not here. And the 20, directors.
What's your total?
Joey, on the 20, it's about 1.4 mil aggregate. I don't have the total, man.
For the 20, it's
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Marwa.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
the
16.
total amount is 4.3 million, but that's inclusive of other expenses. The real estate repair replacement amount is 3.3 million.
Okay, just the real estate.
3.3.
Yeah, so we got 3.3 aggregate now, and we got the 10.4. So now we got total of about 13. So that's what we were asking last time, right? That we have about 13.4 or 12.8 was the number that we were asking last time.
Well, if you add it up, it's 13.7.
So we'll round it at 13.
14 is on the
Okay, we'll round it at 14 million. So what we have on hand with the 1.6 and the projected 4 would be about 5 mil,
5.6.
5.6. So we take that ratio, right, the 5.6 and the aggregate of 13.
Where did you get the 5.6?
The 1.6 and the 4 million.
Right. 1.6 and the 4. Okay. So now we go back to the language on page 23. And this language needs to be parsed out, and we need to have this either amended, modified, or appealed for us to use what we have now. And we use a formula of 25%, because 5.6 and the 14 or 15% aggregate is about 1/4 of the aggregate.
If you include the projected or anticipated increase of 3.3, the 5.6 is 40% of the $14 million.
Okay, 40%, no? So this is what I was, would like to add in on this, Madam Chair, is that, if we go, because SBA is gonna say, okay, you have, $14 million aggregate, this is how much you guys have, you owe. That's unfunded. Safe to say? But you have 5.6 million, or we'll just say we got 6 million, which is about 40%. Yes? So then if we go to page 38, on chapter 75, page 38 on chapter 75. Subsection 75A115. And if you can read that, Mr. Director. 75, this is the one that's going to cover the over the 40%. We got cash on hand, and then we're going to use this as a collateral.
75A115, ejectment when loaned to new lessee for improvements. In case the lessee or borrower or the successor to his interest in the tract, as the case may be, fails to comply with any order issued by the Commission under the provisions of subsection 75A110 or subsection 75A114 of this chapter, the Commission may bring action of ejectment or other appropriate proceedings for the enforcement of said order. Any tract forfeited under the provisions of subsection 75110 or subsection 75A114 of this chapter may be again leased by the Commission as authorized by the provisions of the subsection 75A107 of this chapter, except that the value, in the opinion of the Commission, of all improvement made in respect to such tract by the original lessee or any successor to his interest therein shall constitute a loan by the Commission to the new lessee. Such loan shall be subject to the provisions of this section, subsection 75A113 and 75A114, to the same extent as loans made by the Commission from the Beneficiary Home Loan Fund.
Amen. So this is the new beneficiaries that will come, the 20. So in the event that, of course, you see that letter, that foreclosure letter from SBA? If you read this is what happens when there's a default. And this is the one that we had at issue of being sued, is that in the event that there is a problem with one of the successors that are not able to comply with the requirement, then we're going to get into that default process. So the backup here is that, of the 20 that we have, we're anticipating not all 20 would file a foreclosure in maybe 1 month or 1 year. But we have approximately about maybe 6 million on hand that can cover any interim foreclosure if there was such a foreclosure for the construction of these, for the new homes or the old homes. Because right now we have 19 homes that have been in the red. No, we can say we have 19 homes in the prior contracts of the SBA. So my respectful request here, Madam Chair, is that we want to create a fail-safe mechanism to provide a loan guarantee using this kind of formula: the 25%, 75%, 25% cash, 75%, section 75A115, using the ejectment criteria, and in parallel using the 3,000 lessees that we have that are already on properties, and the addition of the 8,000 applicants that are in line to get CHamoru land trust leases. So out of the 8,000, we're most likely, and this is what we need to do, an accelerated fast-track movement to start getting the process going from the first come, first serve from number 6, number 7, number 8, to start getting the data of those families that may be able to have the income and debt ratio that can take over loans in the event that we get into a foreclosure procedure with SBA. So my motion here is to, for us, as the CHamoru Land Trust Commission, is to develop a mechanism that is fail-safe from any bankruptcy from any of the constituents now, and for those that have had leases since 2005 timeline. So that being said, we need to proffer a language to request whoever wants to take this language and parse it out and include the 40% formula, or we can say 25% to be more on a safe ratio. 25% cash, which is about 5 million, and 75% on the ejectment criteria, using the 3,000 lessees and the 8,000 applicants that are lining up, getting ready to obtain properties or lease properties from the land trust. So do we have an ample amount of constituents that may be able to take over a loan, for example, from constituent number 1 that has a loan payment of 240K, and the monthly payment on the 240 is approximately 900 to 1,000. So my projection on that one, once we start gathering the data from the 3,000 current applicants that are on the property and the 8,000 applicants that are in line to get the loan. So my request, Madam Chair, is to approve the issuance of the loan guarantee in conjunction with having a formula, a safety formula within the House, and in addition to having the legislature proffer a bill to amend the language in relation to the internal fail-safe mechanism that we're going to develop.
Well, you know what, first, that is, you gotta total this and let us know how much.
Okay, so we're going to do that real quick now. Just this part.
Mr. Tachino, do you raise?
Just the building.
Can you clarify, because the status of this letter is, it's just a request.
Correct.
There's
Understand.
no, I mean, as far as I know, there's no response to the letter
We
yet,
haven't
right?
received them.
Yeah.
So you might be getting a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I understand. So what we're going to do, right, is maybe trifurcate the approach here. We're approaching it in a three-legged approach. One is using the existing 3.3 mil, right? We're not including the 4 mil that's being requested. We can say 3.
Or
It's
just
not-
for real estate.
Yeah, that's the real funds that are going to be here. The 1.6 coming from the budget bill,
No, 1.3.
1.3,
It's-
and the 300K that's in the pocket now.
Yeah, that's only 1.6.
Yes, so let's say 1.6 out of the 10 mil. What's the percentage? We'll ask the controller. And we can use that as a ceiling.
Looking at this letter that you presented, this is 2014.
Oh, that's the SBA?
Yes. Is this one of our,
Yeah, that came from here, from one of our files.
so what's the outcome of this one?
Unfortunately, when we were going through the loan guarantee, the lessees with loan guarantees, this letter, it was the first time I saw this letter. But to my knowledge, we have not paid this
This particular,
demand pay yet.
and what happened to the person that is, are they still on CHamoru Land Trust.
And are they still occupying the home? I mean, you know, those are.
Yeah.
My recollection is the Chamorro Land Trust Commission has not evicted anybody. So I'm gonna say that yes, the person is still occupying one, but we are putting together a schedule to do a site visit to all loan guarantee awardees to determine whether they're occupying, they're utilizing it, it's their primary domicile.
Well, first, Joe, it's the ones that actually defaulted.
Yes, sir.
First, on, and that's the list.
Or the
that
20?
they- Yeah, the 20. Oh, no, that's,
The red
That's-
highlighted names is,
yeah, I don't have my files.
Oh.
Uh,
What were you looking for, manager?
The ones that defaulted.
Oh, yeah, the phone.
So in the history of CHamoru Land Trust, we never foreclosed.
we have paid off one loan, which was about $67,000.
And what year was that?
I'm not too sure, but we can get you that information. In that listing that we provided in the previous packet, or the
Yeah.
packet, it shows that the amount that was paid. So that individual is highlighted in yellow.
So this one was built by CHamoru.
The one in green is what we are aware of who had filed bankruptcy.
Mhm.
So like I mentioned in the previous meeting that we're working on getting the listing for the last 10 years so we can figure it out.
Yeah.
You like the,
There's about 19 that are highlighted in red,
I
or
did
colored
in red, and that was about 1.1.
1.1.
Aggregate.
But please note that that 1.1 is just the principal. It doesn't account for penalties and all that other good stuff.
Here you go, manager. It shows that. This will be one also. Just case it out.
That's how much was defaulted.
On the red, yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that are on the white is the unfunded liability. And that's the formula, that's the ratio where, the whole intent here is that if we proffer this and they language the bill to allow us to have that ratio, that 20%, then, and we devise the mechanism in-house that in the event that, constituent number one that owes 120 and is paying 900 a month, starts getting into the default process, then the 1.6 mil that we have can be paying the monthly payment at the interim that we're getting and vetting the next applicant that may want to assume that loan. So we don't lose the momentum, and SBA would not lose the client because we got 8,000 waiting in line wanting to get a property, but if you have a property that already has a home, right, at 2%, and you have a client that wants to assume that loan at 2% for a long term of 30 years, most likely you will find a client that would assume that loan. That's number one. Number two, the successorship on the requirement on what section is successorship? I think 105 or 109, 75A 109 on successorship. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right, 2.3 million.
That's the 20 applicants.
Yes. So you see, that's another question, like the successorship. That's,
What has happened in the past is that when a lessee who was awarded a loan guarantee or has a current mortgage, and the board would allow the takeover of the successor, we inform whatever financial institution of the action, and that the successor or the new lessee would assume the indebtedness of the loan. So that's how that worked in regards to a lessee passing and a successor takes over the lease.
When you say successor, that's the lessee's successor?
Named beneficiary or,
I guess, I kind of get.
That's where, you know, CHamoru Land Trust has to have the successor as the co-maker when they apply for SBA loans
From the beginning.
from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, so that would be maybe
One of the conditions.
to be proffered in the bill,
Yeah,
no?
in the
Is to include,
loan.
yeah.
Madam Chair, one thing to consider is that the lessee can come in at any time to change his successor. So if from the get-go, if the lessee should have the successor act as a co-signer in a sense, does not mean that the lessee can come in a week and then change his named beneficiary to someone else.
Well, that's where there's certain conditions, you know, that they're obligated when they assume the loan or they become a successor
So that language would be included in that,
in that condition.
on that proffering of that particular language. So you see, those are like one option to option 3.
It's not an option, it's a must.
You're right, okay,
Yeah.
it's a requirement, no? At the same time, we're addressing the 20.
And then this whole thing about SBA asking us to guarantee the loan. I think there should be a limit as to how much money we can assume the responsibility.
Yeah, true.
Just like when you go to a bank, the bank limits how much they're going to
Based on
lend
your
out.
income.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like forever open. And now, what happened with Mrs. Galgan's application? She was applying for a building permit. Does she have a home right now in that property?
I don't
I
recall.
Because
checked,
she's-
there's a home on, you're talking about that lady that's,
The carport.
huh? Yeah. It's really
She's not living there
no.
because she needs to apply for
Yeah.
a building permit.
Is it a shack or
Well,
something?
currently, we're doing the Atacao project, so Ms. Gavin, if I'm not mistaken, her structure that was there, if that's her living quarters, had tipped over due to Typhoon Mawar. Recently, we had passed through the Atacao area, so there is activity of her clearing.
Okay, so those again would be included in,
So that was her living home.
There, if she's staying there, I can't say, but there is a structure that presents itself as a living quarters.
and you see the SBA would have vetted that candidate, correct?
Yeah, to determine her
Of course.
eligibility.
Yes, of course, the Small Business Administration or the FEMA people, the inspectors would come, and maybe the constituents here would testify on that if you have a damaged structure, you first have FEMA to come. You have FEMA to come to assess, and if you're requires that you want to strengthen your structure, then you can apply for SBA. And then SBA again would vet you for your income to verify if you're able to get approved for a loan, and if you're able to pay the monthly.
The only reason why I brought that up was because she was asking to get a building permit. And the question is, would SBA require her for us to be the guarantor when she hasn't even built? In other words,
Guarantor for the loan,
for the loan.
not for the building.
No, but the idea is, there wasn't a house that she was staying in, and time when comes, SBA comes to give help, you know, and then she never built.
Unqualified her.
She qualified for
Yeah.
that.
So once it's qualified, then these individuals will have to go search.
Then they would come.
Okay, so that's my motion to get the loan guarantee process moving forward with the, two-prong or three-prong approach simultaneously. And once we get this language that we want done, I think there's going to be a hearing on Friday. Relative to this one, or related to this. So that's my motion.
I need first to, for legal counsel and for the administrator to see if that is all the regulations and everything. Yes.
I'd like just to assert something, just for clarification. The grantor or the beneficiary is going to guarantee the loan. How many
Besides,
times is the beneficiary of adult age?
One more time, the
Not
beneficiary.
100%.
Yeah.
What was
So
the question?
that's where I'm going with this question. Is it viable to have a beneficiary guarantee the loan when the person is not of legal age?
Not in that
Yeah.
you cannot.
situation.
So that puts it right back into CLTC's last again. I think maybe
Is
we
there-
should focus on what is reasonable for us to guarantee. I mean, it would be nice if we could get a beneficiary to co-sign on the loan, but if that person is not of adult age, it's invalid.
Well, SBA would have that requirement, right?
Yeah, but we don't, CLTC don't, in appointing a beneficiary.
Well, we go back to 115. 115 was very specific, the ejectment criteria. If you go to 115, it was clearly mentioned right here. So even if you read it out,
Is there an age limit on the beneficiary in the law?
Is there minimum?
18.
Oh,
No,
it says 18?
The applicant has to be 18, but the beneficiary does not have.
No, yeah, only the
The
applicant.
beneficiary does not have to be
No.
18?
We have issued leases to a minor under the designation of a guardian or a legal custodian or something like that, to that effect.
Yeah. Take for example, number 6, we have the grandchild. And number 6, remember we wanted to see who this grandchild is back in 1995. And today it's like 2023, no? So if the grandchild was only 1 month or 1 year, the grandchild today would be 15 years old. From 95 to present. Is that the one you?
No, my concern.
you'll be 29.
Correct, I'm just checking the math.
But contractually, I don't think the minor can assume the indebtedness of any loan
Yeah, no.
as a minor.
Yes.
So, like Commissioner Garrido had mentioned,
Can I, excuse me? Let's say me as a person that's trying to get everything done for the 200, for example,
Well,
230.
well,
If,
Can I get, no, this is regarding that. Can I get,
just for formality purposes, if the chairwoman would allow, if you can come to the table, state your name for the record, just because.
we're under discussion, Mr. Cruz. If you don't mind holding your question.
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue, madam.
Well,
About the mining, no? You were saying mining?
As a beneficiary, and as a beneficiary, being a minor, they're not entitled or allowed by law to sign as a
That's
guarantee.
Okay, understand.
But this section that you're citing is, it's applied to,
The lessee.
yes.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to address now is the lessee.
If I may, the 7115, 75A 115, that ejectment is in relation to the home loan fund. The fund of concern now is the beneficiary loan guarantee fund.
Yes.
There's a section in the 75A that spells out how to, the loan default remedy. And it specifically tells us in what order and how we should perform that task.
And that section,
It's on page 32.
Okay, got it.
H1, so it speaks very detailed about how to cure the default of the loan.
that's on H again, right?
Yes.
Right, so, okay, man, you got it. Page 32, section lowercase h.
Not on the page.
Is that the same?
32.
Yeah. Actually, oh, right there. H. Where it said the beneficiary loan guarantee fund,
Yes.
right? So that's another section of this 75A that may be included in the proffering of this bill. So again, it doesn't really stop us, right? And that's why I was requesting, can we see, what's that? SBA loan guarantee document, we can redact it just to see what the language is.
We have
Just sanitize it and we can see.
we have a copy of the guarantee that we issue to our lessees to guarantee their loan.
Okay,
It's a blank copy.
okay.
And
So is that what the SBA is requesting, that we give them?
this is the guarantee that we give all our
Okay.
lessees who come in to request for a loan guarantee.
All right, so this one goes to SBA,
SBA, Guam Housing, whoever.
Okay. and this is acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. And this
Same
one does,
language as SBA, so this is Guam Housing.
I think just for the first couple of whereas, it's not the same, but the terms and conditions
okay,
of the
got it.
guarantee is the same.
So the admin director can validate this, that's it, no need the commission,
The commission still needs to approve the award of the guarantee.
but they don't have a signature here?
It's just through motion.
Okay, so when we do the motion, this will be the document to proceed.
This will be executed.
Roger. And this one doesn't show a dollar for dollar or 1/4 for 3/4 ratio of security, just a guarantee.
Yeah, it does
Right.
reflect
Okay.
that.
So you see where we're heading with this one? So even if we did the guarantee now, right, we're saying that maybe we're, I don't know, we're parsing the page 23 to a point where we are not in compliance, right, legal counsel?
If you
On-
were
on
to,
Page 23?
if you were to approve the
Loan guarantee.
request for the loan guarantees now without the funding in the account,
Yeah.
that would,
Be in violation of this language.
When you specify without the funding, what is the amount that has to be entrusted?
That's the one we're trying to answer, the aggregate amount is missing. That's why we want a proffer
See,
to,
the way I read it is, we determine what is reasonable. And
Correct.
if we say 30% is reasonable, then that's what we go by.
that, right on
If we
point.
go 40%, that's what we go by, but it's at our discretion.
Correct, but we want to proffer it so it will be here in language, so nobody has that shady gray line.
Different interpretation.
Yeah, so if we have the bill writers say, you know, be specific.
Internal policy. Have you considered, I mean, we're just discussing if the board should decide what the percentage of actual cash in the bank it should have to secure the loan. That could be done through a motion, a vote, and put into a resolution.
Or we don't need legislation.
If, no, if you try
Okay.
to put that in,
Because there's no direct verbiage that says it has to be 100% guaranteed.
yeah.
Yeah,
It says
right.
reasonable.
Yes, and that's the question that we can say, make a motion now, and by the time we go through it today, this
In other
20 would
words, you
be,
want to make the motion, that way if the money's available, we can disperse the guarantee.
I already made that motion earlier.
Yeah.
So,
I've described it in,
I'm not sure so what was the motion that you made?
to proceed and provide the loan guarantee to the constituents that are,
Well, but that has to be subject to the availability of the funds
It
that are
will
not
be.
yet
It will be.
Like a conditional.
there, right?
yeah, in a condition.
Subject to
Yeah.
availability. That's-
And here's the logic on this, council. We have in the books, right, 10.4 million, and we were only required to have, was it 500,000 in the CHamoru loan home funds, or 500,000 or a million?
The 500,000 was restricted to the MOU with Guam Housing and USDA with CHamoru.
And CHamoru Land Trust, and that was a 2005 MOU.
I believe so.
Yes. So you see with that 500,000, right? Right now, with the Guam Housing, we have 3.7 million aggregate amount, 3.7. And it was only 500,000. So, yes?
I don't think, I think Guam Housing's role in that MOU was to service the packaging. It was USDA that was the one providing funds.
So you see what the scale is, right? From 500,000, and we've done this for the last 20 years, and this is 3.7 million. And then with the SBA, with 500,000, we have 10.4 million. So where's, I'm gonna use this as a basis to say I want to make a motion that we get this done based on the past, precedents that was applied.
What do you mean?
Here, you show, this is the amount, we only have 500,000, and those are the numbers that have been, that's the aggregate amount on the top, would be SBA, right? Is that SBA?
That's the 10.4.
Yeah, 10.4. And remember, it was only 500,000 restricted funds for the
USDA.
USDA. Then the second one is Guam Housing. Yeah, right? Guam
Yes.
Housing, second.
Oh, I was just looking at the total is the 10.4.
Oh, and you see how many lending institutions are involved there?
Okay.
Like 3 or 4, some of them.
Okay, yeah,
So I didn't want to get into the other lending institution. Did they require a loan guarantee? Or is it just USDA and SBA?
well, that's the list of everything that's guaranteed, right?
I am just not sure about this whole thing. I would like to first get a feedback from our governor as far as our request. before we make a decision.
On the formula, on the
Yeah.
formula.
When they decide now, then what's the percentage?
And then the thing is, if you're gonna guarantee it, you need at least 50% of what you're reserving.
Based on our 75A?
Yes, what I
Yeah.
came across there. Yes.
And maybe
Madam
legal.
Chair, if we may, because the law is not specific or detailed as to what the percentage or the amount of money that should be in the bank to guarantee the loan. And the legal counsel can confirm, the board may want to consider determining what would be a reasonable amount.
Mm.
So at least that first prong of the whole process has been already addressed. And if in the event the money should come and it's sufficient enough to provide guarantees or the guarantees that are pending, then at least the next process is to present and then approve if that's what the board should do. But what the board may want to consider to determine now what would be the percentage of the total aggregate of loans that the commission should have in the bank or cash readily available. So at least that's one process that has been addressed and resolved.
And then I was asking you the last time about the 10 million. How is it put in your financial statement?
Like I mentioned, on a fund level, we don't report it, but we do make mention of the contingent liability, of the potential exposure that it may have when a loan is
Hold on.
demand paid, so there's a demand paid. But given all the numbers that have been discussed today, and if everything does come to fruition, the 4 million transfer from the governor, the 1.6 and the 300,000 that we do have cash ready available at the bank, we will have 40% of the total aggregate amount that has been already guaranteed. So, like Commissioner Guido had made mention earlier about having a certain percentage or deciding on a certain percentage, for example, you guys may consider that the ceiling is, or the minimum amount to have in the bank is 20% of the total aggregate. Having 40%, you've already exceeded it, and that's enough room for growth too,
At 40.
if the whole
Yeah.
5.6 comes.
If it's 20,
Yeah.
20 would be ceiling.
If,
But it's not leading to having the board approve loan guarantees today, but determining what is the percentage of the total aggregate that we should have in the bank to continue to guarantee loans. So like how Administrative Director Tyrone had mentioned last meeting, it could be 20%, if the board decides it could be 30%.
So right now, the 19 red line of the total is about 19% or 18. Default,
18.4.
yeah. So we round it off, we'll say 20. So our ceiling would be 20. If we're gonna use this as the,
That's up to you guys to decide.
I mean, my position on this is the outstanding is what, 12 million at the end of the day, including Mawa. Not all 12 million is your own default this year. All right, based on the history, it's like 10%, 10 to 12% that are in default. And as far as foreclosures, even lower.
18%.
So that's where I go back to reasonable. And if we run the numbers correctly, it's at our discretion that we decide what is reasonable. But I do see very, very dire need for us to resolve currently what's on the table. And right now, we're like getting it intermingled. My first concern will be the malware victims, see if we can resolve their issues first and foremost, and then we can fine tune everything following that. I mean, it's an unfunded liability and we need to address it, but right now, to me, the most pressing concerns is malware. Now, I did have a short conversation with the governor last Saturday. I met her in an event, and she had brought this to my attention. She assured me that she would be willing to give us some money. Okay, I'm not going to say how much money. I was not aware of this letter.
Yeah, you can-
Before me.
What's the total on the 20,
On the
on the 20,
20%?
no, the 20 customers?
Oh,
3,377,500.
2.3 million,
2.3.
yeah. And we have 1.6 on hand.
Anyhow,
Minus the
going
three.
back to what I was saying, she assured me that she was going to give money to the CHamoru Land Trust to address this unfunded liability. But with that same conversation, she goes, we need to go before the legislature to ask for additional funding
That's right,
for the loan guarantee.
that's right.
Yeah.
If it requires a one-to-one. And so far, we haven't seen anything that requires the reasonableness of one-to-one.
But Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
we haven't even gone out to check our customers that have defaulted
Yeah.
and how much we have to pay SBA.
Just for the record, Madam Chair, two
Have
months
you
ago-
found out?
No, I volunteered to Ms. Tyden just to give me a vehicle with the sign CHamoru Land Trust, and I would volunteer to check the 19, just to get the assessment if the properties are still there, if they're occupied, or if it's abandoned. That's 19. So, and the question is that have we gone out? Maybe or the administrator director may address that, no?
We have that.
Yeah. Or it's in the planning, planning. And your point on that, Madam Chair, is that we may be able, right, to revive those that are in that condition.
Let me ask you first, the 1.3, is that the 1 million that the legislature gave us?
Appropriated.
Reason?
And the 300-some thousand is the return of what was transferred out.
What about the reserve in the CHamoru Land Trust? You have a reserve account that we don't spend.
That's the restricted $500,000. That was restricted due to an MOU with USDA and Rob Housing.
We have customers with USDA.
No, we don't.
We don't, so we can use it, right?
Not according to the MOU. If you do, you have to replenish.
But we can use it.
It's not advisable that you use the money because we don't have a method of paying. So when you don't, and I need to go back and read it, but I believe if it's not replenished in a certain time, there's penalty.
Okay, here it says cash in the bank.
Okay, here's the 500 reserve.
Total cash in the bank is 879,000. Less the 500,000 restricted equals the 379,000, which is part of the 1.3, and
It's that 1.3 is a combination of the 1 million that was
Yes.
appropriated and then the return of the 300-some thousand that was transferred out in 2017. So they're returning back that transfer out.
Not including the 500 reserve.
But that's
That is-
part of cash in the bank.
We didn't include the cash in the bank, the 500,000, because it's restricted.
I know, I understand that. In other words, we can't spend it, period. But the 379 is part of the 1.3 or the 3?
It's an addition to the 1.3.
Oh, okay.
The 1.3 is what was appropriated in the FY 2024 Budget Act.
So you have the 3 million customers
Yes.
that need money,
2.3.
a guarantee, 2.3,
Yes,
and you have 1.6.
yes,
So it's more than,
50%.
yeah,
Amen.
50%.
So motion to. You
Well,
got
you
it?
didn't say how to say it.
Oh, well.
Going around the
I
bush.
highlighted it. You got
That's
it?
why I say,
I highlighted the new 2.3, the current 20.
the
Yes.
20 customers of ours that
Correct.
need to be
Address.
addressed, the loan guarantee.
Yes. And we have 1.6.
The one,
Yes, but you also have your 10.4.
Understand.
Well,
that's
That's-
outstanding.
That's
that's a different story.
It's not really a different story.
Right. Based on page 23, it's the same, right? It's in the
aggregate
It's
amount.
already guaranteed, I mean, you've already.
we had 12
guaranteed
million
that.
to guarantee reserve, and we spent only 10. And now we need 2.3.
How do you, what do you mean you have? I'm not sure I understand that.
Go ahead.
You're the math person.
You can't segregate what was done in the past and what's gonna be done, because it's part of the total aggregate amount. So it would come out to, if the commission is only agreeable to guarantee the 3.3 million, then it'll come out to almost $14 million.
Yeah. And we're,
But the commission still has the opportunity to determine
What is
what is the
reasonable?
reasonable amount to have in reserve.
which is 50%.
15?
50%.
15?
I don't know. I don't know what percentage we have in reserve.
Well,
You-
if
you
we're
guys
using the
decide.
2.3 and 1.6, yeah, it's about 50 plus. This one,
The 10.
this one. It wasn't, but see what the attorney said, is that we cannot separate this from the 10,
Yeah.
right? That's what you're saying.
Right.
So, but what we want to address is the 20 constituents today.
Yes.
When we go to court, we say, Your Honor, we want to address those that have no homes. And if it need be that we put the 3 commissioners in, behind bar, then we're willing to go back.
No. No, they'll take my assets and sell it. That's what's gonna happen.
No problem with the asset, it's the freedom, the freedom. Okay, but,
So
okay,
that-
so.
that's just
motion to-
something for the board to think about. I mean, we keep mentioning it, and it was mentioned in the last meeting. If you think of a reasonable amount or percentage, then we can go from there. If you guys determine 20, if all the money should come, we're at 40% of actual cash in the bank. So we still have a cushion of 20% to go. And as people pay down, it reduces, it'll reduce, but
You can see that yearly
Joey, if
collection.
that's you, what would you do? In our position.
I think now we need a recess first.
Yeah, no, let's face this, let's face it,
No, I want to
Yeah.
hear what he has to say,
I mean,
let's see what's the heart.
because he's been here.
we got to 10.4.
Yeah, remember the 10.4, right, with the 500,000? It went for 20-some years. No, and of course, we.
Only half of that belongs to SBA.
Right, because the rest is.
The rest is something else.
USDA. And
UIDA and Guam Housing.
Guam Housing is 3.7. And then I don't know what's all these little things.
Those are from the other lending
Those
institution.
were initially awarded to SBA, but then were charged off and then sold to a collection agency. And that's who those other companies are.
Oh, this is, they assume
Yeah.
the loans.
Yes.
I was looking at the cash flow, Madam Chair.
When they assume the loans, we haven't had the customers, our customers, assume it too?
Mm,
Meaning, are they continuing the payment?
So far, we're gonna assume yes, because no one has came knocking on our door or has sent us letters demanding pay that we are aware of today.
No, I was just wondering, the people that defaulted on your loans, and these companies have assumed the loans.
The ones that are marked in red, to our knowledge, they have not been sold off yet to another company.
Yeah,
So,
but you have others here, the residential credit solution.
and those are still performing because we have not received any demand pay or anything.
Well, when they're not demanding, something must be going on.
When they're not demanding that is.
Somebody's
the loan is
paying.
Still being serviced.
Yeah. That's why we should go out there and see.
We'll do a sweep of everybody listed there, but we'll prioritize the one in red.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this. This is urgent. Two point three.
And the question is the beneficiaries of those applicants. They're gonna sign off?
Well, the beneficiary would be in the application, right? Mr.
The
Director?
beneficiary.
The beneficiaries of
There
these.
there is nothing in the SBA loan that assigns a beneficiary.
Yeah, I understand, but what I'm saying on the lessee has beneficiaries,
Yes.
right? And then again, we go back and we apply the ejectment criteria of successorship, on page 38, and also the one you said, page 32. Section 8, beneficiary, said so.
I think for the requirement of a co-signer or co-borrower would be the underwriting requirements of the institution. I don't know, legally we possibly can hold the beneficiary to become the co-borrower or the co-signer. If that's what the discussion is, if I'm understanding it correctly.
I'm not sure how you could just require that across the board.
So that, but before, if the lessee should pass and before the conveyance of the lease to the successor or the named beneficiary, they have to agree to inherit the indebtedness of the loan and make faithful and good payments.
I agree with that. There should be something in writing that says the beneficiary will assume all liabilities because there's a list pendants on that land
Yeah,
or in the structure.
yeah.
That's a process we do already when it's conveyed and there's a loan
Yeah,
attached.
it'll be a point of conveyance to the
Yes.
beneficiary. That way, we're within that less than 18-year-old,
Yeah.
not being legally responsible for it. And maybe that's one of the reasons why initially, I don't know, but I'm assuming that grandchildren were not part of being a beneficiary.
Maybe, could be.
But that's the one we want to proffer to include that and amend that language. And that's for number 6, right? Remember, we're stuck
Yes.
at number 6.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so these things, right, if we're going to keep procrastinating on this one, September's going to go, then we're going to be in October. And, you know, the first session would be next week, right, for the fiscal year 24.
Joey, I hate to put you in the spot because you're just there in an active capacity. But how can we service the 20 or 19 SBA applicants?
Right here.
How can we?
It's called loan guarantee.
No,
No, that's it. Once
No.
this gets carriages,
Yeah.
they're gonna go and start getting the contractor, get a bonded contractor, get the estimate, and go to phase 1, groundbreaking, clearing and grubbing, then foundation.
Right.
That's it.
Like
That's what-
we
But
mentioned
without
earlier,
intermingling with this 10 million.
can, because it becomes part of the total aggregate. But like it was discussed even in the previous, last week's meeting and even today, you know, the first task that you guys should consider doing is determining what's reasonable. Next week is October 1st. That's when everything starts to get loaded into our financial system and we can see. By that time, if everything that was mentioned that may be, I mean, what was appropriated will be there more than likely. What was discussed offline, I'm not too sure the amount, and what was requested, I don't know. But hopefully by next week we can verify, so when we come into October, you guys already decided, if you should consider deciding what the reasonable rate or percentage is gonna be, and we have sufficient funding in the bank, then you can proceed with approving loan guarantees and still be within the threshold of what you guys determine to be reasonable.
Madam Chair, may I suggest maybe that we allow Mr. Cruz to reach out to SBA and find out if SBA will give us special consideration for the Marwar victims? Because that's why we're intermixing a big old problem with a new situation.
Right.
And if we can get relief from SBA to say, because
Relief to,
just
waive,
on Marwar, just on Marwar.
to waive the loan guarantee.
Yes.
That's what I asked.
Well, yeah,
2
the
months
20,
ago.
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
Yeah. So can we authorize Mr. Cruz to reach out to SBA and
Sure.
see if they will allow, because it happened because of a disaster. This is not me just wanting to improve the property.
Right.
This is me saying, my house was destroyed, I'm living on dirt floors, and I have a tarp over my head for roof, and my family is exposed to the weather.
And we're still waiting for
So can
the
we
governor
authorize
and the
Mr. Cruz?
legislature. We need help
Yes.
here.
So do we provide the loan guarantee now and then ask for a waiver?
We don't have the money.
Because in August, right, I asked the same question, right? Go to page 23, right, for everybody that's here on this table, and you can check the record. So go to page 23, go to the last sentence and parse it out. Dissect every language on that
We need
and
to.
come back with the number. So the number, right, very simple, the aggregate amount is about 10.4. 2.3 for the new, 10.4 for the old. About 13, yes? Simple. And if we were not in tune to that language, we're already 2 months ahead of this, you know, because of course we wanted to strike out this. If we have a Sharpie, we'll strike it out. Right, and you were saying, no, Dave, you cannot do that. No?
I don't advise that you try to get.
I understand. So that, because this was written by the men and women of the legislature, we're saying, can you please parse this out, get the amendment or the language that you want to put in so we can get the language done, so we can proceed forward. And we're going to do it in both parallel. provide the loan guarantee and modify the language to fit the 25% ceiling or 20 and 75% using ejectment criteria. Simple. We make the experts down at the legislature do that while our folks carry their loan guarantee. Because 15, I think, is going to be, this 20 is going to increase most likely.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, for the first 20, they can start with their phase one, getting a bonded contractor.
I don't advise that you guarantee more than
1.6.
the ability of the fund to
Yeah.
reasonably provide.
Correct, and that was the
security for
1.6 million.
Define recently.
That's what you guys are talking about.
Yes,
You know, but you're advising against it, so.
Well, what I'm saying is, you know, right now that right now today, you have your 300,000 in the bank. You have your 1.3 million that's coming.
yeah, that's been.
And then you have your outstanding request, but you don't know if anything's coming from that.
Which is about 4. Total 6 or 5.
If it all comes in,
Yes.
but you don't know right now how much of that.
Yeah,
you're
so
gonna-
we'll go on the same number, 1.6. Right? No, 1.6 million. But like you said, 1.6 is supposed to cover the 10.4.
And the,
Oh,
and the
and the
3.
2.3.
Isn't it 3?
Understood, yeah. Yeah.
3.3.
Yeah. 2.3, something like that.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
So it says 3.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this question out there, but if the commission only guarantees the real estate repair replacement and does not guarantee the other expenditures, what happens to that individual's loan application? Does it get rejected, disapproved?
That's their problem.
Which one, that
They,
new ones? that are-
what they can do is not get the money and just build the house.
The new ones you're saying? The new
Yeah,
applicants?
what they applied for.
Hmm.
If they give them to clear the land and everything, that's on their own.
Oh,
But it
Would
might
that
be a
be-
requirement to guarantee.
no, Madam Chair, you're
Oh,
You
saying,
only
entire-
guarantee building the house. You don't guarantee,
Understood, but I'll just put that in my notes.
To go back to my request,
yes, that's good request.
yes, can we?
Yes.
Can we empower Mr. Cruz to sit down with SBA and let's try and refine these details and if they can give special consideration for Mawa victims?
For these,
Do I need to put that in a motion? Or can we just instruct Mr. Cruz?
May I say something? Maybe not specific to the name of the individual, but the administrative director or the acting, because I'm only in this position for.
Yes, okay, yes. The acting
yeah, but the administrative assistant won't be back by
I asked
September
that,
30th.
I asked that question, right? So that question has to go to the legal for SBA. And the legal for SBA
Both,
is,
it should be both.
yes, but legal for SBA is not on Guam. They're not on Guam. Yeah? So we'll wait another one?
Email address. We've been, myself and Dexter have been in email correspondences. We do have their email address and we can send her an inquiry.
Could we, I know you're not gonna like my next suggestion, Madam Chair, but in order to, not having to wait until our next regular board meeting, that we call a recess again,
Yeah,
pending our feedback from the
Yeah.
acting director.
yeah.
When, can we have like a projected date of when to reconvene?
How many days do we need to publish?
It's not required, but we do anyway. But we
Well, it's
also.
not.
What would you suggest? If you're working the front line, so you have a better knowledge of what the timeline could be.
Today's Tuesday. Maybe a week's time? I don't know what the response time for them is gonna be.
Either Tuesday or Thursday. Either Tuesday or Thursday is good for me.
October 3rd? Okay, it's 1 week from today.
The third is good for me.
What time?
Commissioner, so October 3rd, okay?
I'm good anytime. Okay, so what's the next agenda?
2 o'clock?
We're not gonna go to the next one?
Yes.
The,
What?
the reading from, that public hearing is gonna be held Friday. You guys read your email, right?
What is that you're?
What's that, that cover letter? The resolution. Page 1, the resolution from, I think it's that Senator.
San Agustin.
Wait, this one? I'm looking at the agenda, from the meeting. Where are we on the agenda?
I said 9
But it's not on the agenda.
Okay, so we'll table.
You can bring it up on the,
This is still a continuation of your meeting from last week? So you can only
Well, yeah,
address
okay.
what's on the agenda.
All right, understand. Okay, so we're good.
we can take this up on the next October 4th. Legal counsel, the correspondence.
At your next meeting, because if you're continuing this meeting, then you're continuing off of your agenda.
The original.
Yeah, but, if you're gonna take up some additional business, then you wanna have that at your next meeting and publish that in your agenda.
Okay,
Can I look at that?
This one?
No, we were supposed to have discussion for the Guam Racing Federation, cocoa recycling and Tata Communication.
yeah,
It was on the agenda.
yes.
thought that you guys covered that already in the meeting.
That's what I'm saying, number 6, 7, oh, you came later and we
Yes,
were
I
already
did,
at
yeah.
the loan guarantee is the hot item.
Right.
Okay, so we go for adjournment, madam,
Not with German.
or recess?
With, can you take that out then on the continuation?
Can you bring us up to date on these
On these things, yes.
Yes.
next week?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. We will go on recess on October 3rd.
Third. Can we hear from, there's no public comment, we're not?
It's on the, it is on the agenda.
It is on the agenda.
But
Public
it's
comments
after
always
your
on the agenda.
report.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's up to you guys.
Public comment.
We're gonna take,
We're recessing on the council's report, and we're recessing on the loan guarantee until next week. So. are
you
hearing us?
wanna include the, so public comments you want to include today?
I believe Mr. Cruz wanted to make a comment.
No, I'm asking you. You guys vote on me?
Yes.
Okay. So, be it,
Cruz?
Mr. Cruz. Before Mr. Cruz talks, we need a motion to continue this meeting October 3rd. At what time?
I think that would be after the.
Right, because you don't want to recess it if you're continuing your meeting.
Okay.
My comment is about this loan.
Sir, can you just state your name? No, just go ahead. It's set for it.
My name is CHamoru Cruz. I'm part of this disaster, which is the, SBA. My comment I'd like to bring up is the guarantee loan, which is, I want to know if, let's say, a son of mine, his income cannot meet what I'm supposed to be paid. And, for example, he only could need $600-700, and my loan is $800, and something happened to me. I wish I don't want to lose that for all the effort that we did with this thing that's going on. I want to know, because I question SBA, can I purchase insurance for my loan? Okay? To insure my loan of that $220,000.
Your credit,
Credit line, no?
yeah.
Very bad. I want to ensure that, because if I don't, all the things that I've done for myself and my family, something happened to me. I hate to see everything cease and nothing for the kids. You know? But nothing for the right kids from behind, you know. And that's really a concern to me. Okay? Because me, maybe I'll be dead, you know, nothing happened.
Mr. Cruz, did they mention your answer, your question? Did SBA
Answer your question.
answer your question about
Yes,
credit line?
the SBA informed me that, yes, Mr. Cruz, you could purchase insurance that in case something happened, your loan is clear.
Paid off, yeah.
Paid off. Okay? But we have to do it, and we have to speak with your board about it. Do you agree on that? you know? Because right now, there's a lot of guys that are, you know,
You'll be included in your payment.
yes, it will be included. Because I have to purchase, I have to show everything. What's, you know, will be total, you know, everything. And the idea is that, for me, is to protect me and my kids, okay? And also some other people that are cannot afford the loan that is being approved, you know? And that's the most topic thing that I want to bring up, is that guarantee for our grant, especially right now, if you look at your thing, the grant, that's not gonna be honored. Only your kids, your main kids. What if I got him, for example, he's my son, and he died, and I still have this piece of property, I got everything that I put up. And he got a son, Pedro, or whatever his name is. Okay? Can that property granted to the grant because of reason that he's the only one, he's the only child that I got right now? Really? You know, can that be changed? And that's the only question mostly.
That's two different things, the credit.
There's the only two I want to let you guys know. This
That's on the
the
beneficiary.
insurance and the beneficiary. Yeah,
So maybe
because you
that's
mentioned that.
how we stop at number 6, because of the beneficiary. So that's the one that we wanted to amend to have a bill proffered for that amendment. And how does that parallel into the loan? That's another.
Well, when you have credit life insurance, it pays off the loan. The
But that's life
guarantee,
insurance, that's
Huh?
not unemployment insurance.
well, it's credit, it's a credit insurance if you pass away.
Yes.
It takes care of the loan, it pays off.
Yeah, but the thing is, beneficiary of the land,
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
is that piece of property and that house that my insurance that I paid off, is that will honor my grandson to have that piece of property?
That's the law that we're trying to get amended, right?
In the current form of the law,
Mhm.
a grandchild is an ineligible
Ineligible.
beneficiary or
So
successor.
that,
Right.
and, you know,
And to be positive about it, we want to get a bill proffered
right,
as soon as possible,
Mhm.
not another year,
yeah.
not another 10 years.
Because of that reason that these things is moving to the point where, you know, we're really money that involved on family.
But you're right.
Mortgage insurance will allow you to,
I don't mind spending money
To-
to take my
pay off your loan.
pay off my loan, what I owe. I don't wanna go back to jail anyway, but I wanna pay it off, or one of my kids gonna get me in trouble. Like, for example, you're my son, like I just said, and you're gone, and you only have one child. Can I take that piece of property that I work hard, and so as you, probably because you're my son, we give it to our grand, you give it to your son. And we need to sign it up to your son, because that's the only grand you got, you know? And that's what I wanna know. How can we do that thing fast enough to take care of us when we make that, start this loan?
The law has to be amended.
I know you have to go through the board, you know, and I understand that we have to be patient, but I wanna know that can we do that?
Is there a continuation as far as beneficiary? Let's say Mr. Cruz's son is the beneficiary, and when he passes, the son becomes the person that takes over. Then he can change the beneficiary to his son.
Child, yes.
Yeah?
But in this case, his son had passed
Before him.
before his grandson.
Oh.
So a direct passage from him from the grandfather to the grandson is not allowed.
And that's what we want to fix.
That's right.
Right?
I'm
We want to
with
fix it.
That has to go through the law.
It can be done, Mr. Cruz. We just have to work on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We respect you guys.
Right now, it's not in the books, but we want to amend the language.
And it helps when you go to the legislature
Yeah,
and request for that.
yeah. Because, you know, anybody, I know that it's upon her.
It happens.
After you suffer so many years of that, agony, whatever,
Joey?
and then mga tayo pa doon mo nung bahado mo gra. No, hindi pa sukuk lang sa isa. That's all I got. That's all I got. No, it's not that, you know, take care.
Even Madam Chair, you know, we were,
No.
maybe even reared children. You know, you only have
It
a
needs to pass
child
on.
that's been reared. No, we
Yeah,
want to also include that in the language. So, hindi mapoksay na
Right.
I guess that's the answer, no?
But I'm really doing about,
The
some,
cleanest way is to.
some parents, some kids, they neglect their parents, they don't want to even involve their parents.
But the
And then this
grandchild,
child that spent 30, 40 years helping her, or helping me, for example. huh? I seen all the work she did when I was alive. Now that I'm gone, I have to give something that child. Because he's there when I need, not my own child that doesn't care about me, or is not living in the island, or right next to you. Who's gonna take care of Lanas and Puyusa, Malong? I have to take him, drop him. I have to take care of him. Or her, or, you know, these are the things that, like what you said, is very important for us to understand.
that's another thing to Mr. Cruz, adopt the grandson.
Yeah.
Oh, or to be your child?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah.
But the olden days, some of them are not, they don't adopt it, just took them, you know, did them, but yet the child did all the work.
Yeah, and see, that's another good language, right? To be incorporated in the
Right.
language, in
Right.
case
Right.
the parent doesn't
Mhm.
understand about the language of the law. And that's why we have such a problem, because
Yeah.
you know, we speak the language of the legislature, but
Right.
our grassroots, you know, when you say aggregate amount, I'm thinking it's gravel.
Mm.
No, really, that's
Yeah.
how ignorant I am.
Yeah,
And I had to spend day and night to understand this language
yeah.
because of the aggregate amount
Mhm.
and the reasonable amount.
Mm.
So all those languages I've been parsing day and night, day and night, day and night to find a resolution. But the language needs to be amended. And just for public information, it's being worked on.
Mhm. Just like my cows are not here, I'm the only one. The mother took them since they were a kid, because I had problem with marriage. And then they don't want to care, she doesn't want to care for me to take care of my kid. I said, hey, no matter what happened between of us, don't let the kids involved, let's help them. Huh? We bring them out of this earth, so let's take care of them. Make sure that we do our job. You know? And that's what, like you said, every day I contact my kids. Sit down and have a meeting with the four kids, you guys, and let me know what's going on. Come in. So my daughter's coming in just to take care of this problem. So they already discussed how we're going to do it. Yes. Because I don't want to die and then everybody's fighting like a cat and dog on their own. Brothers and sisters. Why are you guys fighting about this? Huh? This came from our father. From me, for you kids. Oh, share equally.
And it's good to put it on paper.
Yeah.
If you don't put it on paper, then you'll be
You
here.
have to put everything in paper and send it to the law and say, this is what we want, this is what we want, you know. That's all right.
Si Jesús más, sí, yeah. Está ahí. Sigamos, igual.
Thank you.
see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You shake your hand. Sir. Dr. Cruz. Ready? Good afternoon.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. En your freshie. Itano. The gift of our land from our ancestors. And here we are now facing issues like the grassroots. We are not being attended the way we are supposed to. We are the lower class that they put in the site. You cannot compare individuals that are high class compared to the low class. We are, I for one, I know for a fact federal money is coming in by millions of dollars. With just some more land trust here, I think I've been here already 8 times already. And like I said the last time, we someone own a parking lot out here. You know, I don't really know you guys until continuous meeting. That's when I get to know you guys more. With all the respect. Help us low class, help us grassroots. Money is coming in from the federal. Why is it that SBA can help us, but here we're having a hard time? And with SBA, they're freaking out. Isn't that a shame? They're freaking out. Why? They even wrote a note. Indicate why CHamoru Land Trust or the government of Guam or the governor, or the lieutenant governor, or the legislature, why can they guarantee us the loan? This is federal money that's coming in. Federal money is not for people to get, or directors to get raises. No, to help us grassroots. Don't just know us to put up signs and all that, and you know. I, for one, I'm still living under a canopy. If you guys remember the non-stop rain, I mean, my place is getting flooded. I will not be here. I will not be here if my place is still standing. I will not be here if my place is still standing. I'm going to repeat it again. I'm living under a canopy.
With children
With children.
and senior citizens.
And when it gets flooded, I cried in tears. Where is the leadership in the entire government of Guam, in all these 3 branches, from the legislature, from the executive, and the judiciary? Where's all the help? Now I'm here. Like I said, I'm here. I don't even know you guys that good. I own a parking lot here already. I already know where to park. Even the security guard already know who I am. Yeah, it's embarrassing that us grassroots, the low class, are not being helped. I've been in this meeting for so many times already. And all SBA is asking for is a loan guarantee and agreement. I just received a letter from the land agent that I'm going to get me a plan. And once I get a plan, I'm going to present it to you guys for approval. I can't even get a loan guarantee, and you're already telling me to get a plan for you guys to approve for me to build a house. Even my contractor is giving up on me already. Because you know why? I always call, hey, please don't leave me behind. Well, what's going on? You're taking too long. Well, I'm having issues. Why? I need this requirement from SBA. So with you guys, Acting Director Joseph Cruz, Legal Counsel, Finley, Commissioner Mr. Garrido, Commissioner Mr. Herrera, Madam Chair, Mrs. Badalio, and the staff. When it rains, my place gets flooded. I'm living under a tarp. And when it rains and the wind starts to blow, the canopy starts to shake. You think I'm sleeping good at night? No. But once the canopy collapses, I know I'm going to be so pissed off, but I'm not getting no help from the government. Federal money is coming in to help the low class, not to get pay raises. Come on, man. I've been into politics. You guys are sitting in the solid roof concrete. I am not. Like I said, I would not be here, my place is still standing. But just remember, the word in the Pharisee, give, offer, help, water, land, and the air that we breathe. If you guys don't understand that, remove that. Words don't mean nothing if we cannot help the people. I'm one of them. I'm asking for help. So this is taking too long already, man. The governor, the lieutenant governor, the director of CHamoru Land Trust, what's her name? Alice. And I'm glad you're here. I hope that you do some consideration. Acting Director Joseph B. Cruz, and Madam Chair Arlene, and Legal Counsel, Mr. Commissioner Garrido, Mr. Commissioner Herrera. This is embarrassing. Us Chamorus, or what we call Guamanians, why are we having a hard time? Why? Why? Why can't we help? Like I said, federal money are coming in, but they don't know where's the money. Everybody like to gossip, hey, the money's in the bank. Help the people. We live in a small island surrounded by water, with different culture, different nationalities. But when it comes to help, our local people, we're in the bottom line. Put yourself in my shoe, living under a canopy. When it rains and it gets flooded, water flow, you have to tell your kids, get up on top of the couch, get up on top of the pallet, make a trend. And here I am now, I'm asking for help. Like what Madam Chair said the last meeting, let's help these people because they're living on the dirt. Mr. Commissioner Garrido mentioned, let's start with this issue with the Mawar. I know what triggered this, the past constituents that didn't make payment to SBA. That's what triggered us now. And also, Mr. David Herrera, Commissioner David Herrera. We need, you guys already mentioned about loan guarantee. That's all SBA wants, loan guarantee. Like I mentioned earlier when I stepped in this door here, the land agent gave me a paper. I said, what's this for? Oh, this is for your floor plan. And once you get your floor plan, present it to the board for approval. How can I present a floor plan? I'm not even given the loan guarantee. So it's like number 5 comes before number 1. Give me number 1 and then I'll continue with number 5. And then we're good to go. But only you're presenting me a floor plan to have the board under CHamoru Land Trust to present for approval. First of all, like what Mr. Commissioner Earl said, Mr. David Herrera, Madam Chair, Madam Medallion. Let's start with the Mawar. Start with us first. We're suffering. Deal with those constituents that didn't pay SBA. I don't know what's so hard about that. If they don't pay, like the letter say, if they don't pay, they're going to get default. Either get evicted or sued. Put yourself in my shoe. I'm sitting under a tent. Even to have a visitor at my place, everything's exposed from bed to couch. Even the kitchen is right there. Good thing I'm not making my kids eat on top of the bed. It's really hurting, man, really. If I was in you guys' shoes, I'm sitting pretty, I would not even come here. But with you guys being here, I'm asking for support. Provide us the Mawar conditions that are looking for loan guarantee. SBA is freaking out. Why? They even gave me a letter to stipulate why CHamoru Land Trust will not issue a SBA guarantee loan. Those guys are here, the federal, the FEMA, all those federal officers, they came to want to help. And this is what we're facing now. Come on, man. Leave politics on the side. Help us poor grassroots. And I'm one of them. I ain't rich, but I know I can accumulate a lot of friends and family. Your friends, my friends, your family, my family. But I cannot invite you guys to my place because I cannot, my hospitality, if I come there, if you guys come there, I'm not going to offer you guys to eat on top of the bed. But first thing the visitor will say, wow, what's going on? What happened to our local leaders? That's the word. What is going on with our local leaders? Do we have to wait to stand for election? Like what you guys said, Mr. Garrido, Commissioner Garrido, Mr. Herrera, Madam Chair, Arlene. Let's begin with the Mawar constituents that suffered in this disaster storm. I'm out there after the storm, restoring power, Island White, and now I'm asking for help. I am going through this issue right now. Very simple. Very simple. SBA asking for loan guarantee, an agreement. Why can't you guys just compromise and say, okay, let's start with Mawar, and then later on we'll go back and see what's happening, like what you guys mentioned. Go back and do investigation. If they're still there, how come we haven't paid?
Senor, just if I may, today on this table, and it's in the record, right? I went through 75A, and I went through the numbers, I went through the language, and I offered an alternative based on this. I read this day in and day out since I got the documents. And you know the answer is in this 75A. But did it resonate? I offered an interim. It did not resonate. Here, now I have a copy of this one. So again, my logic is that if we had 10 million aggregate amount, and then we only have 2.2, and we got 1.6 coming, that's my basis. Is that we can do this, in my opinion, but the other's opinion is that it's not gonna go. So I tried. And if we're gonna wait another month, another two, if we get away from this, great. But understanding that the SBA has analyzed the past record of CHamoru Land Trust. They have analyzed it. 10.4, 19 in the red, right? So they know if you and I are going to the regular bank and your payment record and no action, or if I go to a company to borrow money and if I'm not meeting my obligation, you really think that that company would give you that obligation again? Of course. But again, for the record, I went through, now here's the loan guarantee. It doesn't have a dollar amount. It doesn't say dollar for dollar or quarter for 75. Only 75A. And I went through it. And it's in here. You can do it. But if we get a waiver, good. If we don't get a waiver, then I feel for you. I really feel for you. You know, and we know, I sleep in a truck. But I'm not complaining. No. What I'm saying is that, this can be proffered. It can be amended. And in the interim, we can provide this to you guys. But, what do you do when you're outnumbered? So, but thank you for coming. And I rest my case.
I just hope that, and if there's going to be another meeting again and again and again
And again,
and again and again, we're
Well,
going.
you know what I can say about this? Our record with SBA doesn't look good.
correct. And do you really think they're gonna?
Now, why is it that they come to Guam, SBA, saying we can help you do this, do that? Why does CHamoru Land Trust have to guarantee the SBA loans? Why?
Right? Because of the past record.
Past record?
Yeah.
But have they come to us and say, I demand the money now?
Yeah. Well, we have one letter, right? One letter from SBA.
That's from 2014.
Yes, and we want to check if all the 19 have that letter, so.
And all I can say is, based on the recommendation of our legal counsel,
Yes. And take that into consideration. Yeah.
and it's the legislature, the governor, that should provide the money to guarantee the loans.
Yeah.
CHamoru Land Trust doesn't have it.
Or to tweak the language, Madam Chair, the language of the aggregate versus the reasonably,
I don't know.
the reasonable, that part.
No, the reasonable is good. Because we determine what is reasonable
Yeah.
Correct.
as a board.
But this is how I feel.
So
If you're sincere about helping people, SBA shouldn't ask for us to guarantee the loan.
Especially it's under typhoon condition.
Right.
Yes.
If you're here to help, then help us. These people are the ones suffering.
I know, but the
Thank you, Madam Chair.
but the roadblock is on us. On this table.
The roadblock is we don't have the money,
Yes,
period.
yes, yes.
And the only person that can give us the money is the legislature and the governor.
Or tweak the language that we don't need the money, we can use
Sometimes,
the
Mr.
ratio.
Commissioner Herrera, too much law is not good.
I agree.
Too much law.
Help us, man. Why have a legal counsel here that don't even understand how we feel as a grassroots here? If you're living on a solid roof and it starts to rain hard, flood it, you're not worried. I even beg you, don't even think about us poor people living in a flood zone under a canopy, leaking canopy. Don't you look at us local people like we're low class, man? Come on.
Joe,
We have governor, we have legislature, we have the judiciary. Why can't they? And now I have just you guys here. You know, I know you guys already pretty much.
But, Mr. Canata, you should also go to the legislature and complain that you can't get a guarantee unless Chamorro Land Trust can get the money to guarantee the loan.
All I know is there's a lot of federal money coming into Guam. For example,
On our last
all
meeting,
rice plan, I don't know, whatever other plan, maybe rice plan, you know.
well, that's
Joe.
what we were seeking from the governor,
Joe,
is that
we understand your dilemma. We really want to help, but right now our hands are tied because of the insufficient funds. If you will take the chairperson's advice, go down to the legislature, please, and talk to Senator San Augustine. He's preparing a bill that will address your concerns.
I understand that. Going down to the legislature.
We need all the.
To make the shortcut, why don't the director of the Chamorro Land Trust go down herself? I was watching the last meeting with the legislature, even Mr. Carlos Camacho. One housing was there. Why is there any representative like the director? No. You know why? Maybe she don't care.
No, we'll hold our feet to the fire.
That's Bill 107, right?
Yeah.
107.
And Mr. Carlos Camacho we mentioned.
Yeah.
How come I didn't see no Chamorro Land Trust representative? Only the one housing.
I was online on that public hearing. I pay attention to this meeting day in and day out. I don't take a day break.
I mean, for the director, for me to go down there and voice myself to Mr. San Agustin or the legislature, no. Let the director do her job. If they cannot do her job, they remove her. I'm saying this to my heart, and this is how I feel. You cannot do your job, get out. If you're only here for the pay, you don't deserve it. Because you know why I said that? How many times I've been here? 8 times already. 8 times. And for land agent to give me a paper that I'm saying that, oh, get your floor plan and present it to the board for approval. How can you tell me that? I'm not even giving the loan guarantee from Chamorro Land Trust, and you want me to present the map to the board? Come on, man. I ain't dumb. I may look ugly, but not dumb. So embarrassing that that last meeting, the legislature and the director wasn't even present. Because if the director was there, yes, maybe she can appropriate and ask Mr. San Agustin, hey, we need to build out Chamorro Land Trust. We need $20 million. Then go to the tax, revenue tax. Hey, go to the other agency. We got GIDA, we got USDA. We got all those, I don't know, man. It's very sad that I'm gonna leave here and go home and tell my family, oh, same old shit. Nothing. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy me another canopy, prepare myself for this other rainy season coming down again. And when you guys stay in your house under a concrete roof, think about the poor people living on top of a dirt, eating on top of a dirt, sleeping on top of a flat water. Before I used to have visitors coming to my place, now I don't invite them over, because when I invite them over, everything's exposed. My bed, my kitchen, my clothes are hanging on the canopy. I don't know how you guys feel, man, but if I was a director or acting director or legal counsel, hey, enough is enough. People are coming inside here crying for help. And here we are just waiting. Let's help these people out, man. Help me out. How many times did I ask for help? How many times did I ask for help? I'm asking for help. If you cannot take the heat, then please bring a director or assistant director or counsel. Hey, come on, man. Help us people, help the grassroots. Help the poor. If I bring you over to my place, you're gonna freak out how we live. Back in 1970s, it's like the way we're living right now is like during the refugee time. So sad, man, that I'm going to leave here and same thing again going to happen. The director's not here. I know where's the director. The director didn't even attend the legislature's meeting. And it's so embarrassing. Mr. Carlos Tomato, even mentioned. I don't know where's the director for CHamoru Trust. But he spoke on behalf of the grassroots, the poor people that are living under a tent. And like what he mentioned, what will happen if there's another storm next month? Are we prepared? No. I want to say, Madam Chair,
Thank you.
Arlene, thank you so much. Commissioner
also.
Mr. David Rivera and
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Dr. Earl, and legal counsel Jimmy. And I'm glad you're there, acting administrative director Joseph Cruz. And our KGTF, right? Man, you know, with the KGTF, it's like when I'm a star of the movie theater. You know, maybe you should expose my my picture of the what's that? Agania Plaza.
Billboard?
Billboard, yeah, yeah. The man, the family, the legend. Yeah, I've been with GPA for over 37 years. I know politics. I know how it feels when people hurt. During the time of restoration of power, I was crying because when you see GPA bucket truck, I get emotional because the kids are running out to the bucket truck. Thank you, Mr. GPA, for turning on the power. I don't promise them, but I talk to them nicely. I will not promise you, but I'm going to try my best and turn on your power. I'm not going to turn on only 20 customers. No, I'm going to turn on 500 customers one-time shot. If you have to take me up to 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna energize that customer 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, sir.
That's a copy of the loan guarantee.
And you know that letter I received?
Soak it in diesel and fire it up at 440 kW.
You know, like the letter I have here, I think the SBA is saying that they will go to the Passman kitchen to get their money back, right? You know? No? I have the letter here. If you guys don't know, then I'll keep it to myself. Yeah. Honestly, help the poor.
Is that an extension you have? Or is it to extend your?
No, this is the one I have. This is the one I have from the land agent that will get my floor plan and bring it, present it to the board for approval. I even asked her to make me a copy. I don't know. I'm going from 5 to 1 instead of 1 to 5. And man, really, this is really sad for my family. I'm gonna come home and say, let's prepare for the next storm. And this time, I even told my coworkers, my friends and family, if CHamoru Land Trust give me the loan guarantee, they asked me how am I going to build my house. You know what I told them? It may sound funny. You know, I told my friends and family I will build my house underground. So now I don't have to put on typhoon shutters. Yeah. Right? See, I make you laugh. Acting Administrative Director Joseph Cruz.
But
Am I smart or dumb? Huh? You know?
Mr. Kinanta, you can also apply at Guam Housing Corporation.
I understand that, Madam Chair, Mrs. Alimutalu, but I'd rather stick with that 2%. 6%, I'm going to cut people's grass, even though the grass is not growing in the yard. I'll cut it again over and over again. But I'll deal with that 2%, you know.
this can be resolved here.
Yeah.
It can be. We just gotta have to speak.
With you guys right here, I can see magic. I can see miracle. And when that magic and miracle happen, you know what I'm going to say? You guys are a genius.
If it happens.
It will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Joe. We'll try, we'll continue to try our best.
Acting Administrator, next meeting, can you put a sign there, parking for Mr. Safety Connector? So I don't have to walk far from downstairs, upstairs. Anyway, I'm going to say this, I consider you guys my brothers and sisters in your position right now. And I thank you for accepting my speech. And I honor and respect you guys. Just excuse my frustration, but it's really hurting for me to keep coming back and forth and just no good news. So like I said, I hear Madam Chair Arlene Godalio, why they come to Guam and they kind of help us. Why do they need us? Why do they need that? I don't think they have that in the last. I even went to my honor's legal counsel. That's how far I go. Good thing I didn't go to the child support and ask for help. Right? So if you give me that loan guarantee, acting administrative director, you think about building my house like ITC building or 2-bedroom? No, I'm going to build my house underground. So when you're typhoon enough to put up typhoon shutters, just put my feet on top of the doorway.
With an elevator.
Yeah.
Ay, nakulo na si Dos Masi. Kapag ano'y dokumento ng pamilya na anigi loan guarantee posisyon niya.
Yeah.
Teka anigi posisyon niya.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go around and, why are you laughing, Joseph?
Thanks, sir.
When I build my house, you're gonna come and see the house underground. Right. Hi, thank you so much, thank you. You ever got your name? Your name? Next. Next, right? Okay, thanks.
Gisa nung sumutso ito di dokumento.
Huh?
Gisa sumutso.
Oh, yeah? Mr. Dexter, are you writing all what I said here?
Sige, tumatay.
Oh, yeah, hi, thank you so much. Yeah. There's someone to apply your fund.
Ipinut sa mulo. Just
Can I make a motion?
Oh, yeah? Oh, you're the translator.
Go recess.
Yeah.
Molly Budana, no?
I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
make a comment.
Yeah. You know, I just recalled, I used to work with her. My boss before. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
it worked.
Judge Chair. I just say, I don't want to say, yeah, that guy didn't shake my hand.
I finished my tape already. That's what I finished my tape.
Oh, yeah? I can give you black tape, cello.
Don't work on my
Well,
cameras.
I got electrical tape.
Don't work on my cameras. It's okay.
You know.
Don't complain.
Munasan?
Mingata, just like I said, the SBA loans, they haven't called us to pay, so why do they need a guarantee?
Gudin answer.
Why?
Is the name nilileko? Tanai, may loan guarantees siya?
No, but why does SBA insist on getting a loan guarantee from us, Tomorrowland Trust, when they haven't called the loans of those that were defaulted?
At sige na yung namang wako na parang kapalanit sa nito to SPA kita na bangkada. The parang niya no na
Let him first go and see. Like Mr. Garrido mentioned.
What I'll do tomorrow is, or even today, is send the email. But tomorrow we'll make every effort to try to talk to someone here locally who's here from off island. And we'll try to get as much information as we could. I don't know if those people who are here can directly answer that, but we'll do our best to gather as much.
On that email correspondence, no, are we privy to be CC? Yeah. No?
You just want to be careful, you
Oh,
can't have
oh,
any
because-
discussion outside of the
I
meeting.
see.
So, if you guys are all,
On that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
try and have any discussion back and forth, that's going to
Okay,
be,
right.
right.
When there's three, right, or two, something like that.
Yeah,
But just
so
to-
all your discussion has to be in the meeting.
Understand, okay. So in the email, for us to see what their correspondence is, the questions, because there may be some technical questions that we want to ask, just like the formula that I presented. If there was their legal counsel here, I mean, the SPAs, and they have any issue regarding the formula,
Well, they could communicate any questions that they have, right? You guys can't have a discussion
I
outside of
see.
the
Well-
meeting, but if you had questions that you wanted, them to consider, but you just, among the board members.
Well, Mr. Herrera can discuss with Mr. Cruz what questions he would like to find out from SBA.
Right, but not as a,
No,
but
not
but
as a
not
group.
as a group outside of the
okay,
meeting.
Yeah.
understand, thank you.
You can communicate with him anytime, but not we three together
Oh,
with
yeah.
him.
But during the correspondence of the questions and inquiries, because you see when,
Joey, would you like some assistance in composing a letter?
I could prepare, I could share every discussion and email thread
And a draft?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that was a question too. When you email everyone, his email.
Is there anything to prevent you from copying us on that email?
No, but, just try not to make any discussions in between or outside of it. Right, Kristen?
Right, if you know, if you guys have correspondence among each other, that, you know, would be in violation of.
And that, so writing is also,
Right,
Yeah,
if that's a
okay.
communication.
But take for example, the email or today or yesterday, right, from this group, from the senators group. I mean, did anybody see this yesterday or day before? Has anybody, read?
no.
You know,
Is that this?
We just received that today, right?
No.
and so,
Right, but you don't wanna have again,
Oh.
a discussion about it,
yeah, no,
you know, even over email. And you
Oh.
don't wanna, you know, it's not something that was on the agenda for, you know, like I said, this meeting is carrying over the same agenda, from,
Okay.
you know, cause you're just continuing the meeting, it's not a new meeting. So there's not a new agenda that's been put out that would inform the public what you're gonna discuss.
so the discussion for the next meeting on October would be to continue
Would be
This
to
meeting.
Of today.
continue this
of
meeting.
today on, and what's our target? To find out if SBA is gonna waive,
Feedback from.
right? And the
SBA.
target is to waive it, right?
Waive the loan guarantee
Yeah.
requirement for
And
Mount.
then
Yeah, so we'll just wait another
And
week, huh?
and the legal's report,
Yes.
Rico's report on,
the agenda.
okay.
Yeah, I apologize, because I thought you guys had covered.
Everything.
Yeah. So next week on the
You
fourth,
didn't have this out?
right, October 4th,
Three.
October 3rd, same
What
time?
time? I don't have time.
2:00.
Do I need to make the
We're
motion
not-
again?
Huh?
Do I need to make the motion again to recess?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, I move that we recess this meeting until October 3rd at 2 p.m.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. We're done. Have a good day.
On
Hey.
this sheet, some of these is like, it's blank, and then
This
there's
is
a number,
4:30.
and some of
Hey.
these is blank.
4:30.